Hi there, TMFA. It's Technique Tuesday. Hope everyone's having a great week. So far, it's early in the week, right? I don't know about you guys, but by the time I get to Tuesday, sometimes I feel like it's been a very, very full week already. But welcome to my Accent Facebook Live. As always, here on TMFA, I am here to talk to you guys about accents, accent acting, accent training, accent auditions, accents all the time. Um, I want to make sure, again, you guys have heard me say this, but I'm really passionate about this, that you guys get the support you need to be successful in this business. And that means knowing what's what when it comes to accents and accent training. Um, as always, my friends, with any questions or even just say hi. And when you show up to my live, say hi. Pop your hello there in the comments. I want to know that you're here and watching, and I want to be able to chat with you. I don't know about you guys, but these are much more fun for me if we get to have actual conversations about things, so it's not so one-sided. As a teacher and as an acting teacher, as an accent teacher, I'm working with the actor, the artist in front of me, the unique human being, and that deserves to be honored. So anything that you've got, say hi, ask a question. Let's have a conversation about this sort of stuff. And right off the bat, Christina Harris says hi again. Hi again, Christina. It's great to see you. I'm really glad that you're dropping by my Facebook Lives these days. Lots of good stuff floating around accent-wise. So again, my friends, say hi. Pop your questions into the comments. Anything accent related at all. Now, obviously, I have something that I'm here to talk about today, and you'll notice in the title of my Facebook Live video, accent reduction equals identity reduction. This is the big thing I kind of want to talk about today. The reason that I want to chat about this, and as I chat about this, I'm sure it'll inspire questions and sort of, from my perspective as an actor, this is what I run into, or I was told this by my acting teacher or an acting teacher or somebody. Pop those again into the comments so that we can discuss them and I can help give you some perspective on this thing I'm talking about in relation to your own experience. So, accent reduction equals identity reduction. All right, and let me break this down for you. Accent. All right, we talked last week about, and I've got it right here, my friends. I have it. Wait right here. All right. We asked this question last week. What is your accent? All right. Big question that we asked. And then we called that even your preferred accent. All right. And I took you guys through an exercise about figuring out what your preferred accent was. What was that accent? We talked about your past history a little bit. Where were you born? The adults that raised you, how did they speak? Did your accent change maybe around puberty, that kind of age? If so, how? How do people describe your accent to you? Do you have any inside jokes, dialect stuff with your family and friends? How do you describe your preferred accent? And in the comments, I got a lot of awesome descriptions of preferred accent. And it got more specific as the time went through. And that specificity is what I'm after here when I talk about accent identity. All right? Would it be fair to say, my friends, and pop in the comments, your answer to this question. Would it be fair to say that your accent story and what we learned about your preferred accent carries a ton of information with it? Would it be fair to say that? I think it is fair to say that. Ton of information, right? Just on the surface level, we get to see where you're from, who raised you, what accents influenced you, what was your first accent you learned, what was your second accent, in your formative years around puberty, how did you grow and change and develop new accent and identity? All right? All of that information comes baked into your cake. So the way I like to break this down for you guys is to say this. Accent equals identity. And this is so important, my friends. I'm going to get out my blue marker and I'm going to write this down. Accent equals identity. identity. Trying not to misspell any of these words. Accent equals identity. Okay. Brian is here. Hi, Brian. Good to see you, man. Welcome. Accent equals identity. All right. The way we speak, our own unique way of speaking, our accent, is a product of our entire life history from day one until today. And everything that happened from day one along that path shaped your accent. It shaped your preferred accent. All right. And that accent, part of your identity. All right. And it's not just a part of your identity so much as I would say it actually is your identity in a lot of ways. All right. Another thing accent does for us in terms of our self-identity is it helps us to target which social groups we're a part of. Right. Like the way I speak is how I identify with my social groups. Social cues, social groups. This is part of identity with accent. So, think about, for instance, think about your friend groups. All right? Now, I want you to think about who, like, you probably have, like, a main friend group. These are your family friends, right? The friends that have become sort of family to you. If you guys had a Friendsgiving, this is who you'd hang out with. Now, think about maybe another hobby that you have, and there's a group of friends around that hobby. I want you to think about those two groups and how you speak in those two different places. Is your accent different in those two different places? I'm willing to bet it is. I'm willing to bet that this thing changes based on this thing. Which part of your identity is being displayed to the world? All right? Willing to bet your preferred accent is going to change. This identity will change. Both of these things will modulate at the same time. All right? Now, this may seem self-evident. It may seem kind of obvious. It may not, but it may. And it's worth saying this because one of the things I get approached most for in this business, and I'm talking about approached by directors, producers, casting directors, casting associates, agents, managers, acting teachers, acting coaches, audition coaches, and actors themselves. The one biggest thing that I get approached most often for is, quote unquote, accent reduction. Okay. Typically, what happens is that, let's say you want to be an actor and you go and you take an acting class or a casting director workshop or something along those lines. You take some class, right? And you show up there and you're doing your acting and you're feeling good. Like, I'm doing my acting. Like, I'm in my element, really feeling nice about this. Feeling like I'm artistic, I'm flowy, I've got challenges, but I'm working them out. Like, you're feeling good. And then the casting director who's leading the workshop goes, okay, that was good. So what's going on with the accent there? And you go, come again? And they say, yeah, you've got a little bit of an accent thing. Can we lose the accent? And immediately you go, sure, I can try. And then you try. And now, instead of thinking about your acting, all that's in your mind here is, oh shit, my accent. My accent. What do I got to do, right? And so the casting director says, yeah, you should probably go talk to an accent coach about losing the accent. Can you take some accent reduction classes? Now, this has become such an industry standard that I come into, I have to sort of push against this a little bit, and more than a little bit, a lot of it, all the time. Here's the thing. Everybody on the face of the planet, number one, has an accent. I have an accent, you have an accent, that casting director has an accent. Everybody has an accent. Okay? Number two, because everybody has an accent, every character you ever play is also going to speak with an accent. All right? Think about this. Every role you ever play, accent role. Number three, not every role you play is going to have the same accent you do. So when you come up against a casting director or director, agent, manager, anybody who says, can we lose the accent? Can we reduce that accent? Can we get rid of that accent? They do not mean in your real life. Look at my eyes when I say this. They do not mean in your real life. They don't mean that. They don't want you to get rid of your accent in your real life. When they say, can we lose the accent? They mean for this role, for that audition, for this one scene. Can we, and they don't mean even lose the accent. Really what they mean is, can we acquire another accent? Can we add another accent to your repertoire? That's really what they're after. Adding additional accents. So think about it this way as well. If we lost your accent, right, or if we reduced your accent, what are we reducing that accent to? Right? We're reducing that accent to something else. Really, we're reducing that accent to another accent. So even accent reduction is you acquiring another accent. The difference is, and this is why when actors come to me and they say, oh, I want to try to learn this accent just to speak within my daily life, I almost always caution against it. I almost always caution against this. All right? It's really, really important that we don't lose our preferred accent. You don't lose this. It's yours. It's part of you. All right? We don't lose that accent in favor of something else. All right? In your daily life. Super important that that's the case. Because if we lose that part of your identity, then we've actually shut off the part of you that creates art. We block it off, and now we don't have access to it. The voice that's inside you that gets art that nobody else gets, we have lost that now. And we do not want to lose that. We want to keep it and celebrate it and own it. So accent reduction, for me, equals identity reduction. And we don't want to reduce your identity at all. As I'm talking here, I've noticed that, this is always fun when this happens. My window is open over here to let in some fresh air, and there's a big breeze. So if at any time a giant breeze comes and blows my pictures off the wall, I will pause just to fix them. But I'm going to continue, because I like the fresh breeze, even if it's dangerous right now. I'm just hearing it in the background and like sensing the sword of Damocles kind of hanging here, wondering when my bookcase is going to fall over. Anyway, that's not your problem, that's mine. Let's talk accents again. I'm looking at the comments here. Sorry, I missed these. Christina says her accent's different among veterans than the accent with her mom. Totally. So when we talk about, again, the social groups that our accents demonstrate we're part of, that's a big part of it too, right? Yeah, you can totally see. For me, when I play rugby, you better believe I speak differently with my rugby club than I do, for instance, with you guys. I have a different accent when I'm teaching here on TMFA. Certainly. Very different accent than I would playing rugby. You know, or hanging out with my brothers, for instance. All of those things are going to be different because those social groups are different. Think about this. When you're with your best friend hanging out. Inside jokes, the way you guys, rib each other, but you're very comfortable. And now imagine you're on a first date. Brand new person. Also a very different accent that goes along with that. Right? So let's get back to this accent reduction thing. Just say this again, because I cannot repeat this too many times for you guys, because it has to sink in, and the industry, as far as I'm concerned, needs to start thinking about this differently for you guys. Really needs to start thinking about this differently. Because if another voice teacher or somebody tells an actor, you need to get rid of that accent because there's something wrong with the way you speak, like, that really bothers me. There is nothing wrong with the way you speak. Your preferred accent is a part of you, your identity. There's nothing wrong with that. We should celebrate it. But when somebody says, you need to lose that accent, inculcate this little idea in your head. This little seed is planted that there is something broken with you. And that you have to fix that thing that's broken because your accent isn't good enough to be a part of you or your acting. And I want to fight against that with you guys. All right? So I see a bunch of people watching this video right now. I've got my little counter up here. All right, everybody. I want to make a deal with you. All right, can we make a deal? All right, let's make this deal. We are not going to seek accent reduction. We're not going to seek to lose our accents. What we're going to do instead is seek to acquire more accents. I want to add accents. Because I don't want to just play roles that speak with my preferred accent. I would love to play roles that speak with my preferred accent, for sure. But I don't want to just play those, right? Every actor wants expansive possibilities for casting. So that's our deal. Let's acquire new accents so we can expand our casting opportunities with other possibilities. So I can start playing roles that speak with other accents than I speak with in my daily life. And you guys, again, this is part of our deal. Here's the deal. All right? Make this deal. You will give up any responsibility you feel to the acting world in general to have to sound a certain way. There is no standard we have to adhere to. None. Zero standards we have to adhere to in terms of what we ought to sound like. All right? Just in our daily lives. Now, when it comes to a role, obviously there are things we want to pay attention to in terms of how what we sound like helps tell the story we're a part of. So obviously there's some responsibility to the story we're telling in that case. But we don't have a responsibility to this industry to sound a certain way. So those of you watching this, all right, who maybe are not from America, all right, where you don't sound like me. I have a pretty general American accent. If you don't sound like me, that's great. If you're from Africa and you have one of myriad different African accents and language backgrounds, excellent. If you're from Europe, Western Europe, Central Europe, Eastern Europe, awesome. If you're from Asia, great. Anywhere in Asia, those accents. If you're from Australia, all right. If you're from somewhere in America that's not a general accent, let's say you're from New York, Boston, somewhere in the South, somewhere in the upper Midwest, Canada, South America, Central America, all of these ways that you guys can speak, celebrate it, own it, all right? You do not have to sound a certain way to act in this industry. What you do need is the accent skills to be able to acquire other accents so that, for instance, if you are from Venezuela with an awesome Venezuelan accent and you speak Spanish and you maybe a couple other languages, who knows, and you come to America and you say, I want to keep my Venezuelan accent. I want to sound like I sound, right? Because it's a part of me. We also want you to have the ability to sound generally American as well. I want to give you that too. All right? That's the deal we're going to make. Guys, you do not have to sound a certain way to act or to be a part of this industry. What you do have to do if you want to play roles that speak in accents other than your preferred accent is to expand that. All right? That's the deal we're going to make. Let's see if I have any other questions here. All right, my friends. No questions so far, but pop them in there. Pop some questions in there. Anything about accents. Hey, when was the last audition you guys had that you needed an accent? Has anybody out there ever turned down an audition because of an accent where you said, ooh, I don't know if I can do that? Let me know about that. Anything at all accent related, I want to know. But the biggest thing for me today is accent reduction is not a thing. Accent acquisition is the thing we're after. So, how do I proceed in accent acquisition? You guys have heard me talk a lot about accent acquisition skills. All right. My accent skills workshop, which is now online and on demand and available for you, is where I'm going to start you out. This is where you should go. It's where you should go to learn how to add to your repertoire of accents. I want you guys to be there. All right. I want you guys to start on this journey so you feel empowered. The accent skills that I teach are designed to put you in the driver's seat of your accent acting journey. So that when you encounter an accent, you are not at the mercy of not knowing this thing anymore. You are in a place where you are empowered with knowledge to be able to act on it, learn an accent quickly if you have to for an audition, and go book the role. And then master the accent for the role once they, give you the deadline to be on set. Those kinds of things. Yeah? So the accent skills is where this starts. You guys hear me talk about this a lot. I never get tired of talking about my accent skills workshops. They are so, so, so important. All right? Any actor who comes to me right now, that's where I'll send you. I'll say, let's start with the accent skills. Let's work privately. Let's tinker with this stuff. Let's target your first target accent. But let's focus on the skills so that you get to sit in the driver's seat of your career as an accent actor. It's the biggest thing I want for you. So, it's interesting. The last couple of weeks, I've had a lot of stuff to talk about technique-wise. We talked about lip exercises, tongue anatomy, things of that nature. You're going to dive into a lot of that information in the Accent Skills Workshop. Today's Facebook Live was more about a general concept because in this week I've gotten a lot of calls and emails about accent reduction. So it's been on my mind. I really want to put this out there. Accent reduction is not a thing because it equals identity reduction, and we want to add to our accent identities by acquiring more. So that's basically all I had to talk about today, you guys. It's going to be a short Facebook Live. I've gotten used to talking for like 40 minutes or an hour. 20 minutes. I'm seeing almost 21 minutes today. Actually happy that I was real succinct this way. If you're watching this, not live, you can pop your questions in the comments. I will circle back and answer them for sure. If you're watching this live and you're interested in what the next steps are, I don't know, are accents right for me, or what do I do? How do I proceed? Reach out to me. Go to my website, dialectcoachchrislang.com. Talk to my very friendly chatbot. We'll take your information. You'll leave a couple of times when you're available for a phone call. I'll put it in the calendar, and you and we can chat about your accent journey and where to start and what that will look like. All right, that's the first place to start. Alternatively, if you're saying right now, yeah, this sounds great, let's do the Accent Skills Workshop. Courses.dialectcoachchrislang.com. That's where you'll go to sign up for that. Because TMFA is one of my favorite places in the world, I want to take care of you guys. Coupon code social distance, all one word, 20% off that workshop today. So go check it out. If you haven't started it already, go check it out. All right? Even if you've had accent training in college and things like that, you didn't get this kind of accent training. All right? This is comprehensive, long-lasting, integrate this with your acting technique kind of accent skill training. So please do check it out. You will thank yourself. If you have any questions, my friends, always reach out. I'm here to help. Yeah. That's all I've got for you guys today. Short and sweet, right? So my friends, it's been a real pleasure. I will be back next week. If there's anything you guys want me to talk about accent-wise, if you guys have a burning question to talk about, like, ooh, I want to know this about accents, let me know. Because I will talk about that. Whatever you guys have in your mind right now in terms of I wonder this or that, I want to address those things. Well, my friends, my fire alarm has just gone off, so I'm going to go and make sure my house isn't burning down. Bye, everybody.